So last week I mentioned how this week I would prioritize playing Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity because, as you know, since the game release, I've basically been playing the mission and doing a ton of stuff on the world map, then play something else, then I'll come back, do a mission, a ton of stuff on the world map, play something else. I've just been trying to, share my love because there's so many games that I have access to now that it's hard for me to just sit there and be like, you know what, I'm gonna just go and play this one thing. It's like, nah, but I want to play a little bit of that. I want to play a little bit of this. I still get through games and I always make it a priority to get through stuff. So Age of Calamity was a game that I said whenever I know that Nintendo's gonna, show the next trailer, or should I say re-reveal, the sequel to Breath of the Wild. And I mean, like, give us maybe a name, give us maybe a release date, maybe some gameplay. I assume that that's going to be on Tuesday at this E3. So I always said, once I know we're close to more Breath of the Wild sequel, that's when I'm going to step on the gas on Age of Calamity. And that's exactly what I did this week. So I finally finished the game. And let me tell you right now, this review is going to include a whole lot of spoilers because the game's been out for a little while. I feel like by now you should have finished it. And look, let me be clear. Let me just be clear because I just said a whole lot about the sequel to Breath of the Wild. There is no guarantee that we're going to see this game on Tuesday, let alone get a name and a release date. Those are things that I want. I believe we are going to see it. But that was a little bit extra right there, saying name and release date. We know how those usually go. Those are usually two separate things when it comes to Zelda games. So right now, let's just hope we get a little launch window. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the first letter of the actual game's name. we don't know what they're gonna give us. But the truth is, I think we are gonna see a little bit of gameplay, enough for us to be like, "Yo, look at that! Compared to Breath of the Wild, that looks crazy." One of those moments. I think we're definitely gonna get that. But anyway. Now that I got that out the way, now that you know that we might not be seeing Breath of the Wild sequel this week, let's talk about Age of Calamity and be hyped like we're gonna see the sequel this week coming up. Yo, that's the way I'm going, and I don't know about you. And I won't even be disappointed if they don't show it. I will be sad, but not disappointed if the show is still good. If it's not, then it's gonna be like, yo, you had Breath of the Wild in the chamber. Well, not in the chamber. You had a clip with Breath of the Wild, Bayonetta, Metroid Prime 4, and you ain't used that clip. You used the clip with goddamn Wii Music too. No, I'm just playing. Just playing. Yo, let me knock on wood or something. Let make sure that never happens. Nah, but for real, we gonna get Breath of the Wild. We gonna get it. All right. This is where I want to start with this game. Before I get into any gameplay, story, any of that stuff. The music of this game. I don't know who composed this game. I'm almost certain it wasn't, Yuji Naka. I mean, Zelda games have had new composers for a little while now. Whoever composed this game, I don't know if he's a Nintendo guy. I don't know if he's from, well, I don't know if he's an outsourced person or if he's from, what's the name of the developer? Tecmo Koei, right? Nintendo need to take this guy. I'm telling you right now. I don't care where he work at. I don't care. Be like, listen, if you got to drop the bag off, you do it. Do it. Because he really did a great job with the music. The whole time I was playing this game, I was saying, damn, this music is so good. Damn, this music is so good. And then the renditions of music, like Zelda's Lullaby and shit like that, I was just like, yo, he's killing it. Whoever's doing it is killing it. Look, matter of fact, I looked at the credits. It was 2 people named. I don't know the names, but yeah, shout out to them. Because they made fantastic renditions of Zelda themes and just great music in general. Like, I really, really love the music in this game. And I just wanted to highlight that right at the start because the music really drove a lot of these scenes, a lot of these epic, motherfucking epic moments home. And without that bombastic music behind it, yeah, it was never going to be the same. So the music needs to get praised. Now, let me talk about the gameplay a little bit. The gameplay to this game, it's obviously, Musou, Dynasty Warrior style gameplay. I really, really did enjoy Hyrule Warriors, the first game. Played it a ton, right? But this game, to me, blew Hyrule Warriors, the original, out of the water. Not only that, this game is actually canon versus Hyrule Warriors is just like a made-up thing. This game is actually part of the Breath of the Wild story, and the way that they actually put it together to me was beautiful and was so Zelda, but we ain't talking about the story right now. We're talking about the gameplay. And the gameplay, I love it. I love the mechanic of having this squad and having to direct them to multitask, and then you having to jump in between them and multitask. I can't tell you how many times on the last like few chapters of the game, I was thinking like, well, let's get to I guess some of the spoilers. Like when you, I mean, this isn't really a spoiler because it's something that I was hyping up and many Zelda fans were hyping up before the game came out. It was the fact that, yo, we're gonna play the moments when the champions die. You know what I'm saying? And that actually happens, and it's great. But those moments in the game, the way those stages are broken up, where it's basically it's two divine beasts, per level basically, and the way that they broke it up and the way that you got to multitask and be in multiple places at once and fight these crazy difficult enemies. I was thinking the whole time, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna die here, I'm gonna die here. But I was doing a great job. I honestly died in this game, I want to say like 3 times, if that 4 times. Easily less than 10 times, easily. Like I died a little bit, and those last stages barely at all. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I really did it up. Like no health, no more goddamn apples in order to feed myself, no nothing, and just jumping through characters using their health as one health. You know what I'm saying? Like their hearts as, all right, Impa got 4 hearts, Zelda got 3, Link got 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just jumping between them, just beating up characters and using them, and like, yo, hopefully I don't get hit, hopefully I don't die. You know what I mean? And that right there, when you're in that pocket, and in that rhythm, and you just got it right where you're multiple places at once, and then you defeat an enemy and new enemies pop up, and you already had characters where those enemies were gonna pop up. Not that you knew they were gonna come there, it's just that you just in the rhythm, you just in the groove. That's when the game, you just like, yo, I love this game because it's like I don't know if I want to say it's like an RTS, but it is a strategy game on top of a brawler like Streets of Rage, which I love brawlers. Strategy is always fun, like, oh yeah, flank this guy, or just managing your team, like, oh yeah, who I'm gonna send over there, who do I play better with, you know what I'm saying? Let me mix it up, because all of that is choices that you're gonna make even before you go into a level. You're gonna say, all right, who am I gonna pick, what am I gonna eat, what do I want, you know what I mean? You're gonna look at the picture of the stage and say, damn, that area looks hot. Maybe I'm gonna take something that's gonna give me negative damage, negative 50 damage on fire. You know what I'm saying? So if I get hit by a fire enemy, it's gonna be negative 50. Like all of that plays into it. So the gameplay, I loved it. Impa, love playing with her. Probably my favorite character to play with, honestly. But that's the thing. By the end of the game, I mean, like there's certain characters I want to wait to talk about to certain moments, but stuff like the Yiga clan. By the end of the game, it's like, oh yeah, you could play now with Yiga characters. It's like, all right, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they're throwing different characters at you, and I'm just like, yeah, that's awesome. That they, the variety is crazy, and I didn't know it was gonna be like this. I didn't know if they were still gonna do what Warriors games are known for doing, which is having good guys, bad guys, everybody playable. And this game still does it. And I know that there's still more characters for me unlocked. There's still more for me to do because that map right now is lit up with a ton of little gold things that I gotta, do. And I'm definitely gonna be playing through this basically throughout the rest of the Switch's life. I'm basically be going through and playing this game. But yeah, so that's the gameplay. But let's talk about the story and these epic moments real quick. So the story is wild because Breath of the Wild. No, but it is wild. It's wild because the way that they play with time, I was like, you know what? I've heard people say like, oh yeah, this game ruined the story of Breath of the Wild, the canon. Or it's not the same. It's not right. And I'm like, it's 100% right. It's Zelda. Damn near every Zelda game deals with time. You know what I mean? You talk Link to the Past, you already know. Turning into a bunny. Majora's Mask, come on, 3 days. Ocarina of Time, you already know. 7-year gap. Wind Waker, same thing. That deals with time crazy. And that's still the same story of Ocarina of Time. And even when you go to the Hyrule Castle, frozen enemies there, time. Everywhere, you know what I mean? There's Temple of Times in Twilight Princess. You're still playing with time in Twilight Princess and things like that. Going from the Twilight Realm and stuff. So time has always been a thing in Zelda games. Skyward Sword, you already know. That game is nothing but time with the whole... I don't want to talk about that one because that game, maybe people are going to be playing it for the first time. And I know it's old and I can easily just say, it's her. But nah, I'm not going to do that right now. That's enough. But that whole thing, time. You know what I'm saying? So it's what Zelda does. So when this game basically remixed Breath of the Wild, it wasn't really a remix because it was funny. Is that if you go look at some of my previous Breath of the Wild 2 theory videos, I theorized that they might do a thing with all the new champions, Teba, all of them, like just the new guys, all of them, like they're gonna be sent back. Because I was saying, oh, look at the tapestry, it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not what the scenario they said was. This is completely different. Looking at why does Link look the way he looked? You know what I'm saying? In that tapestry, like everything is different here. Why do the champions all have like the armor like Link's guardian armor? You know what I mean? Like look at it, it's completely different. And I theorized like, yeah, these new champions are gonna go back in time likely, and then instead of losing, we'll win. And that shit literally happened in this. And I was like, so scratch that for Breath of the Wild 2. They did it in this game, which this game is kind of Breath of the Wild 2. And Breath of the Wild 2, what we've been calling Breath of the Wild 2, is kind of 3. And it's not really kind of, it is what it is because Nintendo told us it's a trilogy, right? And I'm like, yeah, this is the middle game. We just haven't seen the events that led to Link and Zelda deciding to send back the champions to change what happened in the past. It's crazy. It's weird. Will we ever see those moments? Will those moments actually play out in Breath of the Wild 2? Who knows? It'd be great if it did, because now you know where you're sending them to because you played it. And and then maybe that's why Breath of the Wild 2 world will be different. Because now we didn't lose 100 years ago. Link didn't go into endless slumber. Zelda wasn't in Hyrule Castle, captive for 100 years. This game changed everything from the little what was his name? It's weird. I just heard it like twice, so it was something like Terrico or something like that. The little egg, which I was calling. What was I calling? I don't know what I was calling. The little baby and guardian, the little guardian angel. His whole character arc was great. From Zelda having him as a little kid, like she built him out of guardian parts. Then they tease seeing Zelda's mother, and you didn't really see her. I'm like, damn, I hope they give us Zelda's mom in the sequel. Obviously, from the little snippet that you get when Zelda turns around, it looks like she's wearing the actual garb that Zelda has on in the future in Breath of the Wild. When she's doing all of the basically the knighting of all of the champions. And I was like, that's cool if that's like a dress that was passed down from her mother. You also, like with this story in this game, you get to see like the king and who like he is and why he is the way he is. Like, yeah, he's hard on Zelda. Like there's a part where he takes, the little guardian angel, Terrico, and he tells Zelda like, nah, like you gotta focus on your mission, your study. Now we know that the Calamity is coming, basically the Age of Calamity. And you got to focus on unlocking, your gifts and things like that. And then there's a moment in the gameplay where I literally thought he died. And I was like, oh shit, because we're going to see him die. Because he was dead, because he was the dead old man in Breath of the Wild. So it is a part where he gets caught up basically with two guardians. They both lock on him. And you think he's dead for a long time in the game. And then later on, you find him. If I'm not mistaken, you find him in the Temple of Time on the Great Plateau. I just played this shit literally yesterday, so like I'm literally remembering off the top of my head. And he's still alive, and what saved him was like a guardian tech that he had, which basically made a shield around him, like Link's blue guardian shields, which reflects, those reflect the guardian beams. So yeah, the explosions you heard were both the guardians being blown up by their own beams. So he survived, and probably all of the knights that he had with him, the Hylian knights, those survived too, because they were probably all within that circle. I gotta actually watch all the cinematics of this like a movie. That's what I'm gonna do later this week, actually. But yeah, man, like the way they did him coming back, and then him like telling like Zelda, like yeah, you know what, maybe you're right, like I was fucked up, like I was being too hard, whatever, and stuff like that, and maybe blinded by the mission at hand, which was her unlocking her potential and everything. So he's alive. Basically, this game, everybody survives, which is super cool. Everybody gets saved. Like I was saying, the missions where you're gonna see each of the champions die, right at the final blow, which the delivered. When they were gonna die, right there. That was it. They saw the white light, and then time happened, and all of the ancestors. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, the future ones. Weird, right? Yeah, you know what I mean. Them, well, yeah, same shit, right? Basically, yeah, they saved them all, and then they all joined up, and it's cool because like Sedan, like Mifa instantly knows, like, brother, like, yo, like that's him grown, like it's crazy, and just seeing those moments and seeing them interact alive now was mad fun, was really great, and I was like, yo, this is awesome. And then you fight those bosses again, and then the battles are actually mad fun because you're teaming up with the Gorons or the Zoras, and y'all doing y'all damn thing. And I thought that was incredible. You know what I mean? Like, I just thought it was incredible. And that's the thing with this story. There was so much epic moments, so much epic imagery that I've wanted to see in Zelda games since Twilight Princess with the Conan music first trailer, and you saw all the goddamn little bokoblins coming over, the field of Hyrule, no different from like seeing the Riders of Rohan at the end of Return of the King. Like, it was epic, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, yo, this is what I always wanted to see in a Zelda game. Then you play the game, and it really didn't live up to that. It was just a Zelda game with none of the Great War stuff. And we always know about the Great Hyrule Wars and things like that have always been alluded to. This game lets you play them, lets you experience them. You see all the Goron, Zoras. I mean, all of them, like the Gerudo, every race of Hyrule just pop up. Crazy, crazy cool. And I gotta say, like, it was throwing me off seeing like the game the way it played out, like all the story beats. Like, I was like, wait. So when Zelda unlocks her abilities now, because none of the champions are dead, the moment is different. This moment now, Link is fighting all of the Calamity Ganon forms, right? And Zelda sees that happening. Instead of it being like a weak Link about to die by two Guardians, it's still the same moment, but now it's different. And Impa, this moment had me hyped. I'm like, look, Impa's pulling Zelda running. It's exactly what she did in previous Zelda games. Skyward Sword, y'all gonna see that's basically what the whole game is. And just Impa literally throwing some shade at Link for being a slow piece of shit. Nah, kind of. But Ocarina of Time, what did she do? Ganondorf was there, Impa, Zelda on horse, and they ran. She ran, she hauled ass. Zelda wanted to help Link, she threw the Ocarina. Zelda always wants to help Link. Impa's job is to, I gotta protect Zelda. And so seeing Impa go right into what all of the previous Impas have done, I was like, this moment is so fucking good. It's so fucking good. And then Zelda's like, no. So she, pulls her hand off and she runs to Link. And that imagery, that first person view of seeing Zelda's hand, and then she's running and you seeing Link fighting each other and seeing just how Link fights. Like, yo, look at him jumping from one to the other, blocking here with the sword, blocking with the. I was like, yo, this is epic. So when they all surround him, like they are all about to just blast him at the same time. She's running that first person view. You get it. You seeing the Guardians laid out all dead in that area. You know the area because you ran through it 1,000 times in Breath of the Wild. And she screams, Link. And the goddamn Triforce comes out. No different from the moment. In the original Breath of the Wild, everything in I don't know how many mile radius gets completely wiped out, shut down, destroyed. You know what I mean? Link is saved. I was like, yo, this is so fucking good. This is so goddamn good. This game is so necessary if you're a Zelda fan. You gotta play it. You gotta at least goddamn watch it as a movie on YouTube or something. You gotta take the story. It's so good in the moments. The way you see these characters just do such cool shit all the time. It's just, man, listen, man, I'm hyped just talking about it. I just want to go and play it some more, which is true. I do. And I do want to just watch the whole story play out. Like the fact that little Guardian jumped through time and then changed everything. I thought that was super cool. Then the ending, I like the ending villain, which name escapes me right now. But I like the way like they went about him, the way he betrayed the Yiga, and then because he betrayed the Yiga was like, you know what, fuck the Yiga ain't got no loyalty. They ain't have no loyalty to the Sheikah. They ain't got no loyalty to nobody. So them switching up and going back and then bowing down, like basically revealing himself, and then bowing down to Zelda and basically giving Zelda and Hyrule their allegiance was super cool because like what we gonna do? We gonna get fucking killed by this thing? Nah. This is the lesser evil. There's no saying that they're not gonna go back to being little assholes after the whole calamity's gone. But right now, it's in their best interest to party up. Basically, you know what I mean? And that's exactly what they did. So I thought that was great. Like everybody coming together and having fun. I like the new Yiga guy, who was the big dude. He was smart. He knew that the Ganondorf, well, not Ganondorf, the Calamity Ganon worshiper. He knew that, like, this dude, come on, this dude is a piece of shit. So the whole way that play out, and then even after you beat him, and he thinks like, yeah, you know what, Calamity, now it's time that we show them how we really do this. And he has his little orb, and he raises his hand, And I'm thinking like, oh shit, he about to do something else. And he looks up at his hand and he starts getting corrupted. And I'm like, oh no, the Calamity is gonna come out and it's gonna take the form of this dude. So maybe Ganondorf will be in this game. And it's basically what happened. Basically, you got literally Calamity Ganon in a different form. From it's like the same moments from Breath of the Wild happened, but instead of taking 100 years to happen, it happened earlier. So all the champions come on, they're Divine Beasts. They all gonna shoot at Ganondorf, at Ganon. And that's what they do. They kill the Calamity Ganon earlier. So now I'm wondering, where does Breath of the Wild take place now? Breath of the Wild 2, does it take place after this game or after Breath of the Wild? I kind of wanted to take place after this game because it's canon, right? That's what they said before the game came out. Don't false advertise, Nintendo. And I think that would be perfect because this goes after. So it's not like, oh yeah, it's not even a sequel to the first game. It is. They're all sequels to each other. It's playing with time. God damn it, Zelda. It's what it is. You know what I mean? If The Legend of Zelda wasn't called The Legend of Zelda, it'd be something with time in the title. Because every damn game basically takes place with time, from the timeline of the story, everything from Zelda, it being her whole character's time based. Like, she's the descendant of Hylia, Link of the hero, Ganon of Demise. Like, yo, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Even the sword got a goddamn origin with Fee. Just so good, man. Just the whole thing. I was just like, man, this game is just fun, incredible story, and literally blew me away. Like, even from when I was playing it a few months ago, when I played everything, for the last few months I'm in, right? But everything that I played now, just literally took the game and just put it on a whole nother stratosphere. Like, I love it so much. Like, this is a Zelda game that I will play through the story. Again, I also like the levels. I like the design of the levels. I felt that they were challenging me just right. So yeah, I'm all in on playing more Age of Calamity and stuff like that. But yeah, man, like, I just think of this game and like what's to come next, and it really got my mind just running right now with thoughts. And the best part is, we likely not gonna have to wait too long, because we're probably gonna get some answers at E3 on Tuesday. But again, that's me, jumping ahead of myself, assuming that whatever they show is actually going to answer anything. They can just show stuff that tells us, look at this brand new gameplay mechanic. Oh, look at the setting of this area. It looks like nothing we've seen before, but we don't know whether it's Hyrule. We don't know what it is. We don't know if they jump through time or into another universe. It could be the Twilight Realm. Who knows? The Dark World, who knows? It could be goddamn Lorule for all you know. There's so much with the Zelda universe, so it's not like, I really expect answers. The point is, we're going to see more Zelda on Tuesday. And after playing this, I'm really, really hyped to see more Zelda on Tuesday. You know what it is? I feel like if I say that we're going to see Zelda on Tuesday, that'll actually happen on Tuesday. So I'm going to say, again, one last time before I wrap this video up, that on Tuesday, oh yes, this upcoming Tuesday, we will be seeing The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, and Age of Calamity's sequel. It's crazy how people thought Age of Calamity, right, was a prequel, and it turned out to be a sequel at the same time. It's weird. It's very, very, very weird. It's a game that feels like, this is not canon, but it's like, why not though? Because everything that happened there, it's perfectly canon, perfectly explainable, and makes perfect sense to me. So the way I see it is like, this is 100% canon. Nintendo said it was before launch, so I 100% am still taking it like this game is 100% canon. Put it right there in the fucked up timeline of the Legend of Zelda series. I don't know where you're gonna put it, but it fits, and it fits beautifully. Loved it.